My biggest win with the journey has been that inner peace and just that fundamental knowing that I've got full purpose and great deal more happiness.
That was amazing for me, and actually for my whole family. Allowed us to keep this open mind on life and to open to all the opportunities.
I have so much more freedom and self-connection and health and vibrancy. I just feel more alive.
The journey helped me to understand what my emotions are, not to be scared of them.
It changed my life. It cleared all blocks and brought into my consciousness what my heart's desire was.
Now I feel my life is easier. I feel stronger, feel what I feel and find a new solution.
To be free from the burden on my shoulders. I live in the moment now, and I'm open to my emotions from the highest to the lowest.
Until the journey, I didn't really know that I could get to the same depth without using any substance. It's getting easier and easier to connect to the deepest part of myself.
Probably the biggest improvement is my inner life or my inner freedom to be as myself, in myself, not being a victim of circumstances and the other people.
The journey has really been a second chance in life for me. Having permission to dive deep and find out who the real authentic me was and just to be that person has just been wonderful.
When you listen to yourself and when you really touch your soul, something magical happens.
Life is different because of the journey. I feel I have all the tools I need to face whatever life throws at me. Life has become fun.
My biggest win was healing a broken heart, and not once, many times. I would never have been able to be in the position that I am in now had it not been for the journey.
Befriending myself in really accepting who I am, that I am perfectly imperfect and I don't need fixing.
I've gained so much. So there is no one big win. If it had to be named as one thing, I would just say it's life-changing.
It's changed my world, it's changed my life, it's changed me. And it's allowed me to be open and vulnerable and completely transparent.
My biggest win as a result of using the journey would definitely be my ability to network and expand upon the goals that I've had for such a long period of time.
My biggest win since attending the Journey Intensive has been finding myself. It has been healing, transforming.
I am just so much more receptive and open to whatever God has planned for me. At the very core of me, being able to experience that peace has been priceless.
A beautiful welcome. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever in the world you are. It's Gaby Burt here from The Journey. I'm International Manager, Director, and I have the beautiful task to be with you with my colleague Daniel today to speak about more about trauma and can you really heal from trauma. So just to get us going, I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you everyone for the beautiful shares, for the openness that we're seeing in your communication, in the emails that we're getting, in the Facebook shares that we're getting. And also we had Brandon here yesterday. If you haven't been able to catch up with her session, it is on Facebook, so it is in YouTube, it's in Facebook. You can watch it there, no problem. You can catch up with it at whatever time you want. And one of the things she was talking, she really kind of took us through what trauma is and also gave us a guided introspection and were pointing us to our covering, you know, how we can allow to be open, to uncover and feel our emotions more freely. And I actually saw a question here from Geeta from yesterday, that she did the exercise and she couldn't get in touch with the trauma. She couldn't get in touch with emotions. Well, Geeta, you are not alone there. And we as human beings are very, very intelligent to kind of cover ourselves and find ways of moving through life without having to be reminded of the traumas in the past. And this is where journey work comes in. This is where this work becomes so profoundly potent, because we have ways of gently uncovering without kind of cracking through and forcing anything. And so it's totally okay. And I think at this point, we just want to bring awareness what's possible. So the perfect day today is, can you really heal from trauma? And Daniel, our director for communications, is here with me today. And as we said already yesterday, he kind of takes us a little bit more into some of the scientific aspects. He's got some slides prepared, and anything that we do here should just give us the ability to know that it's possible. We don't need the how just yet. We don't need the how just yet, just that it's possible. I think that's all we need to know at this point. So I come back to, I want to kind of kick on and catch on from where Brandon left off yesterday, with uncovering emotions in the body, why it is so important. And I get back to that. So let Daniel come first and bring his part of trauma awareness to this session. And then I come back after Daniel, and we do a little bit more on why it is so important to be connected and to feel our emotions. Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you, Gaby. A big welcome also from the heart of Germany. I am Austrian by origin, and 8 years ago found the journey, and it was life-changing. And when we saw the introduction today, those testimonies, I believe that many of the people who experienced these transformations, these breakthroughs, would have not self-identified as being traumatized. Now, in those last 8 years, much of the public conversation is focused on trauma. Gabor Mate being one of the forerunners here, really creating awareness. But awareness in itself is good. The society has to be aware that most of us have suffered some trauma in our life. I always say you cannot get through life without being traumatized. Even if your father was a saint and your mother was a saint, there would have been a moment where they left the room and you as a baby would have felt abandoned or left alone, which would have created abandonment trauma. Now, of course, there is a wide range. And today I want to share a couple of the aspects of trauma lesser known. We have in the Facebook group some very vulnerable, beautiful shares, and I honor you for being open, people sharing abuse trauma, sexual trauma, neglect, all kinds of things that really could be with you for a lifetime. And of course, our nervous system, our whole body, psychology and physiology is set up to not re-experience what we survived. But what that means also that we are setting up a lot of clever ways, clever stories in our mind to not have to feel what was experienced back then. One of the definitions of trauma I personally like is any experience that isn't fully felt in the moment. So if anything happens to you, anything that you cannot fully feel and experience in the moment, you store away for later. And later never comes because life becomes more overwhelming, more events that you can't feel or digest or fully experience add to a load. And by the time you reach midlife, by the time you reach adulthood, we have become less open to life. And if you start accumulating those experiences, you will start to create or want to create an environment, the relationships you have, the place you live, the work you do, where you don't get triggered because you don't want to feel what you avoided all your life. And that means that you become less open to life. So many of these great stories we hear of people experiencing a new level of freedom or joy or self-love or trust is when these past experiences that are hanging over us like a shadow, like a mask, multiple layers of protection to not feel what we couldn't feel back then. So this is one of the real interesting areas for me. And I want you to know that I don't just come from a level of trying to understand it scientifically, but there is a lot of compassion and empathy, because I myself have experienced many aspects of what is called trauma. Today, though, day 2, it's not just Awareness Week, it's also Awareness Day, it's acceptance. Now, by acceptance, I don't mean to say, okay, shrugging your shoulders, saying what to do, we all have it. But there is power in normalizing the experience, in all of us acknowledging and accepting to say, yes, trauma has taken place. And it doesn't mean to slip into a victim mentality and keep retelling the story of what happened, but it means to accept that it took place. That is the prerequisite for any form of clearing or healing that can take place. Now, in my own lifelong journey to experience greater levels of freedom and joy, or meaning and purpose and energy and vibrancy in my life, I tried many different techniques. And tomorrow, I want to give you some of the most renowned or most well-known trauma healing modalities. These are techniques that people try to go back to the trauma, to feel, experience, and clear it so that their future is free from that experience. You heard Brandon yesterday share her own story, which is many levels of complex trauma that she experienced as a young child, and also how the journey that she discovered almost by accident out of her own prayer and desire has become this modality that now for over 30 years all over the world has helped literally tens of thousands of people. And I want to tell you a bit more about that tomorrow. But today, let me just bring up a couple of high-level slides here to talk about Trauma Awareness and Healing Week. I think one of the first things, my definition I just shared with you, trauma is any experience we can't fully feel or digest in the moment, store it away for later, and later never comes. So because we can't experience it fully in the moment, our mind creates stories and we create mental patterns so we don't go there. It's beautifully locked away as a matter of self-protection. The body thinks, the mind thinks, if I go there, I would die or I could not cope. So we hide it away. And of course, all of that hiding away and tucking away takes a lot of energy, life force that is missing in other areas of life. As we become narrower or smaller, because we spend a lot of our energy protecting ourselves from things that have happened in the past. And often when you do journey work, you will realize that your memory of the event is slightly different or very different to what you have experienced. What else is a result of these traumatic experiences? Avoidance behavior. I use relationship as a small example. If you have had a traumatic relationship, a painful relationship, a trauma bonding, as it's sometimes called, you would avoid going back into a painful relationship like that. So not being open to love, not being open to trust because of an experience is a protective behavior, which is fully justified, but it will rob you of much of what life has to offer. And of course, we might end up in living a life that is fear-based, that is always looking out for the danger. Now, I have a small slide that also talks about how society, media, the news is not helping, because we're constantly being confronted with sometimes threats that are not actual here for us, but they're still in our field of awareness. A war happening in the Middle East, a war happening in the eastern part of Europe, crisis, disasters happening anywhere in the world. When they get brought to us, we will respond. Our nervous system will respond. Let me tell you a little bit, just on a high level, the 3 types of trauma that is generally being explained. One is shock trauma, accidents, assault, natural disasters we live through. The second one is developmental relational trauma. This is often called a childhood adversity. chronic adversary, abuse, neglect, lack of safety, early childhood experiences when we have our primal imprint of how life is. And unless we do something about it, this will stay with us for the rest of our life, because our body, our nervous system has created patterns and created protective mechanisms so we don't have to feel what was a threat often to our life, to our safety, to our existence. Now, today, the third pillar here in my slide talks about chronic toxic stress. Now, there is a quality called eustress, very little known. Eustress is positive stress. So there is actually a positive stimulation part of life that is stressing you or stretching you. But here we're talking about ongoing overwhelm, adrenal fatigue, because we're constantly in response to the environment. Of course, it could be things like childhood medical procedures, and of course, adverse community environments, growing up in dangerous or bad neighborhoods. What is interesting to notice is that physical ailments, and I have one slide, the next one, that will most likely really surprise you. I don't want to say shock you, because I don't want to shock your nervous system, but it is revealing to the fact that our trauma will lead, directly linked to physical, emotional, and behavioral disorders, digestive disorders, autoimmune diseases, chronic fatigue, chronic pain, migraines. This is what happens over years or decades of avoidance patterns. Emotional and behavioral could end up in anxiety, depression, addiction, post-traumatic stress disorder, and of course, seeking, most likely, relationships that have the same patterns we experienced early, and being literally in this cycle of constant bad stimulation for us. This is a study that we don't have time to go into it too much, but 𝐘𝐨𝐮, a American insurance and health company, and the Center for Disease Control, CDC, have studied over 17,000 patients, and they found out the more adverse childhood experiences, they call it 𝐓𝐴CE, you experienced, and some of them might be early childhood where we're not fully conscious even, the more you have, if you have 4 or more, you can see that heart disease, cancer, drug abuse, stroke, diabetes, suicide attempts, obesity, depression are up by hundreds or sometimes over 1,000%. And what is also the most revealing here is that if you had 6 or more of these childhood experiences and you don't clear them, this is very important, you don't have a way to heal or resolve or clear them, your life expectancy will decrease by up to 20 years. So this is what I mean by, let's accept that these things might or will have happened to you, even if you're not fully conscious and counting them. I had 6 adverse childhood experiences. It will have happened most likely to every single one of us. But we all have found ways to hide it, protect from it, tell ourselves stories about it. So the last aspect of this, which is, I think, important for all of us to know, as we look at our world being the result of a traumatized world society. The poverty we see, the addiction we see, the discrimination that people experience, the violence that is so prevalent, the chronic illness, the mental health crisis. In truth, all of it can be linked back to people living with trauma and expressing their reduced sense of self, their reduced sense of safety, their reduced ability to love. And what we see is this behavior that is destroying not only families, but also society as a whole and the planet we're living in. So I really believe that this is one of the most important conversations to have, not just trauma awareness, but accepting that it is prevalent and widespread, and sharing the best ways we know of today with all the science, all the self-development, all the spiritual knowledge, everything we have to throw at it because the more people become healthy, the more easily we can imagine that this world can heal. The world is an expression of our inner world. What we see outside is what we experience inside. Like, trauma is not an event, it's an experience. It is living in your nervous system today. So I want to talk about trauma responses. If you look at nature, and I'll be done in about 3 minutes, by the way, and hand over to Gaby to bring us into an experience. But if you look at nature, and a lion attacks a gazelle, and for whatever reason, the gazelle manages to escape, what happens in nature naturally, you would see the gazelle shake violently, get rid of the stress in the nervous system, the adrenal that has obviously been in a life and death fight, and the gazelle goes on happy. It doesn't in the evening sit around and tell his gazelle friends, today I almost died, I escaped death and the trauma is still here. So it doesn't retell the story because it clears it. Now, human beings have lost the ability to shake off, literally shake off trauma as it happens, and we carry it with us and we create stories and character traits from it. Now, fight and flight is the one that everybody talks about. If you feel under threat, you attack or you run. There are 3 much lesser known but very important trauma responses, and this is how does the body respond, the nervous system respond to attack, to stress, to threat. And one is freezing, literally a form of playing dead, right? The hope that if we do nothing, we might escape the situation. The 4th one is fawn, and the fawn is the idea of hiding, going small, and again, it's a matter of freeze, but this can become a life pattern, that you freeze, that you are rigid. Fawning becomes a life pattern of hiding, not wanting to be seen, afraid of being seen, as it might mean imminent death or danger to your life. And of course, we have also a pattern of collapse, that anytime stress comes to you, challenge comes to you, life comes to you, you collapse. You literally lose all ability of conscious behavior, and you just go into a collapse pattern. So awareness that this is how our bodies respond without judgment, without making a story out of it. This is natural behavior. But once you know it, once you accept that you too will have suffered and experienced trauma in one form or another, this is the moment to make a decision to do something about it. And this is really what I would just say, what can you do about it? There are certain activities that are so-called nervous system relaxing. They are called, there is a state of nervous system called the rest and repair state. If we were able to relax, meditate deeply, or Gaby will later on guide us through an exercise which she will describe to you, if we were able to connect to that part of us that is okay, that stays and remains safe, then our nervous system, our body would heal naturally. Much of what Brandon spoke yesterday, the natural spontaneous healing, comes from our nervous system in relax and rest and repair state that would naturally start putting us back into homeostasis. Now, there are some things we can do. Spending time in nature, genuine, vulnerable, open-hearted connection with other people, breathing exercises, breath work, music, singing, humming. Singing and humming, for example, is known to stimulate the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is a very long nervous strand. It goes from here all the way down. And we all have a vagal tone that we can tune up and down. And the life force available to us is based on the vagal tone. So singing and humming is a very easy and good exercise. Dancing, yoga, being in awe, being touched by nature would naturally stimulate your rest and repair and growth. Helping others, art, painting, and of course also therapy. But not all therapies are equal here. And I will spend a lot more time tomorrow talking about that. So that has been my glance into the science of trauma. And I really hope that some of that helped you to just accept and normalize the idea that this is actually taking place for all of us. And I just want to hand over to Gaby and hear her feedback. I told her I would prepare these things, and she's not seen it before or heard it before. So hopefully there was something in there for her. Gaby, which part of that was new for you?
The slide with the world, with the planet, really impacted me most. And you know, from where I'm sitting, to know that there is something available that helps us to clear trauma from ourselves. I always say it's like the world can be a better place if each and every one of us took responsibility, if we stopped the blame game, or it's my parents' fault, it's that one's fault, it's this is the reason why, looking for the whys, and staying in the treadmill, staying in the hamster wheel, but really letting go of the past and arriving here, taking full responsibility and opening. And it is possible. Yes, you can heal from trauma. Yes, you can heal from any trauma. I think everything is possible. I think the body has the capability to heal. Brandon uses the word often, the body is a healing machine. We just got to give it permission to do so. And we have the tools, we have the ability to allow it. You know, we have the ability, and this is something that Brandon brought into this world over 30 years ago, and there is a profound track record. And you know, it's not until more recently that I've become aware that pretty much everything that I see that happens is actually caused by trauma, because what you just said also, Daniel, is that if we are incapable of dealing with something at a time when it happens, it gets stored as trauma. And that can be as mild as being told off by a parent for having spilled a glass of milk, to a lot more severe abuse, but both can be stored in the body as trauma. And so our stories on the surface will vary greatly, and yet the internal experience can be very, very much similar. And if we have an impact for the world as such, if sometimes I feel like what we are seeing, what's happening out there, is an individual reflection of humanity, you know, and sometimes sadly we see the worst, you know, we see the worst. But then if I look through our page, if I look through all the comments that we've received from you, if this is just a small little gathering, then it's not surprising. And the ability to heal and clear these traumas exists for each and every one of us. And so that's as much as I want to say to that. But thank you so much, Daniel, for all of the work that you've done. There's something else I want to say here before I continue a little bit further, because we're looking at our life, we're looking at our traumas, we're looking what's happened to us. And I think we also are invited to sometimes look at our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents. You know, the DNA that is run through me is made up of not just what happened in my life, it's what happened in, I'm a makeup of mom and dad, I'm a makeup of them and their parents and their parents. So there is generations going back. And I know that my father was a soldier in the Second World War, and that there were situations where he, you know, somebody nearly lost their life next to him, but he didn't. So there is lots and lots of trauma, and he wasn't able to deal with it. And so all of these things kind of get passed on. And then we wonder why there is anxiety in our life, why there is something in our life that we don't even know what it is. And I'm not saying that that's the same for everyone. And so there is just an awareness that life will continue. And this is something that is not written, is not a written theory or written in maybe it's in a book, but I don't know. But it is my absolute belief that we all come into this world to learn and to grow. You know, I don't think we come here to become successful. I don't think we're here to make something of ourselves. I think we're here to learn and grow and to wake up, you know, to learn, to grow, to wake up, to become truthful to who we really are, to live our best authentic self, and to become and be in touch with our hearts, with our soul. And so that is when kind of things are falling into place. And I have
believe that, Gaby. I would love you to guide us into a process in a minute, so people have hopefully an experience of what it is to have access to this rest and repair state. And this is not all there is to it, but the body will start to heal and put things back in order. I wanted to just respond to one comment about stopping the story. And I heard this recently, and it really resonated. When somebody tells you their story, listen to the story with empathy and an open heart, but also listen for the story. Where are they creating a victim game? Where are they creating blame? Where are they justifying current behavior based on a past experience? And this is not, again, for any judgment, but just see where this happens. Because Gaby spoke to this level of responsibility. And the word's beautiful. It says responsibility. So your ability to respond to an event and not just regurgitating something that happened is, yes, it's true. It happened. That's the past. That's the story. Now, what you're going to do about it, that you know there is possibility of healing. I think that's the crucial question for all of us here, ongoingly. This is not a one-time magic pill, snip your fingers, we're good. So much to be said, but I know somebody who thinks and reads and knows many things, the actual experience is all better. So would you, Gaby, spend some time guiding us into a process? That would be beautiful.
I would love to, Daniel. Thank you very much. And before I do that, I just want to say a few words, because this is how I started tonight or this evening, to say that Brandon spent quite a considerable time to guide us where in the body we have sensations or emotions or something stored. And you know, we underwent that exercise. And why is it so important to uncover what's in the body, what these emotions are? Why do I need to know that I have something, you know, old grief or old fear or something, or anger that I wasn't able to express? There are not that many emotions, actually. I think it's 20 something emotions in total that we as human beings can actually feel. But why is it so important? And I know that in the time that Brandon had yesterday, maybe it didn't come through so much. But the reason it is important is because the emotions actually are the gateway home into our heart, the gateway home into our soul. And this is the beautiful process that Brandon developed. And I know we speak a lot about soul and peace and love and all those beautiful words. And yet for so many of us, these are concepts or ideas or beliefs, or we hear about it, we read about it. And yet what I'm trying to do here is actually let you know that it's possible for each and everyone to experience that. Now, as one of the ladies here commented at the very beginning, that she did the exercise with Brandon yesterday, which was a total of a few minutes, I think. We're very, very clever human animals to try and protect ourselves. So it takes, this is why a journey intensive weekend does take 2 days minimum for us to kind of soften and let go. And some people are much easier to kind of connect and uncover what's here. But the way home is available for everyone. And I would love to do a little exploration with you. If you want to join me, please do. Just a divine experiment, I guess, let's call it that. And we kind of start a little bit like Brandon started yesterday, but we take it one step further. Because what happens when we do uncover something inside the body, we can actually open with it, find out what it is, and it is, maybe there's a person there or a memory or something, but also a feeling or a sense of an emotion. And if we really open and stay present to it, then there is the possibility to open deeper into what lies beneath it. And this is an unlayering. And in the unlayering, subsequently, we open in our self. We open in truth. We open in a presence that is greater than this. It's greater than our physical form. It's something that is a universal intelligence, an infinite intelligence, as Deepak Chopra used to call it, which is what brought me to the journey in the first place. And it is possible, and I have experienced it in myself, and I know that thousands and thousands and thousands of people around the world, all cultures, all ages, all everything, have been able to do the same. And once you come home, and there are some enlightened teachers out there, one lady comes to mind, 𝐘𝐸𝐲𝐬. I don't know if anybody has heard from her, but what she would say, or what she says, is if you get one glimpse of this presence, the truth of who you are, you will stay truthful to that for the rest of your life. Now, that is what gives us the ability to be present and to allow these old dinosaurs, the traumas, the unresolved issues that we experienced in life, to heal. And the process work is elegant, it exists, it's possible. So all I want to do tonight is give us a little taste. And Gita, I think it was, it's maybe it's the same again, but there are many more people here. So let's give it a go. Let's see what happens. And just let it be whatever it is, a divine experiment. That's what I'm aiming for. So please come and join me. And oh my goodness me, I'm very passionate about this. Very, very passionate. When I first did this weekend, I really woke up. It was like somebody turned the lights on the inside of me, and I didn't know how shut down it was at that point. So just close your eyes and just be present. Just here now, following your breath. Every breath you take in and out will bring you more here into this moment. Present moment awareness. And in that, I can actually scan my entire body and just be present to anything that's happening here right now. There's a little contraction in my stomach right now. Maybe a nervousness of what's happening, I don't know. But it's welcome. I'm welcoming what's here for me. The same is here for you. So just welcoming what is. And once again, also, as we did yesterday, if there were any armor or protection covering your body right now, Just let it fall to the ground. You're safe, you're at home. You're here. Whatever happened in the past was in the past. It is not here now. So just allowing any armor, any protection to just fall to the ground. Just imagine like what a soldier would wear, you know. And allowing all of that to fall to the ground, anything that protects the tummy, the back, the chest, the shoulders, even the arms and the hands. Just let it drop. Just let it drop and feel how more energy is moving through your body. Even something around the throat and neck. It's almost like feeling that something is coming and taking it off. And maybe there is the sensation of wearing an entire helmet that covers the head and the face. Just lift it up, off, and throw it to the side, and allowing yourself to just be here, exposed, open. Just exposed and open. And in this exposure, just imagining 5 magical steps. And these steps take you into an inner peace, an ocean of stillness, an unconditional love, something, a presence that always is and exists within all of us. Whether we're aware of it or not, it is. And so whenever you are ready, you can just step on the top step, on step number 5. And as you are stepping on this step, just moving your body and just allowing any final things to just still drop off. Any armoring, any covering, any protection. It's okay. It's okay. Stepping on step number 4. I'm breathing in trust here. Breathing in self-love and courage. As you step on step number 3. Breathing in willingness. And maybe an ounce of joy. Stepping on step number 2. And getting ready to step on the final step, step 1. And from step 1, just let yourself fall into this vast ocean of stillness, into this unconditional love, infinite intelligence. It has so many names and all points to the same. And then I'm asking you to invite a mentor here, a mentor or a guardian angel, somebody in whose wisdom you feel safe and protected in, somebody who may be a saint or a sage. It may just be a presence of light. And just inviting somebody. And there is also a very special vehicle, and this vehicle has always been with you, and it kind of knows every moment of what took place in your life. It's programmed with your life. It's even programmed with what you came in with. And whenever you are ready, you and your mentor just can step into this vehicle and let it go to somewhere inside your body where there is any trauma or unresolved issues stored. And as this is just an exercise, let it be just that. Let's do this divine experiment and let it be an unresolved issue that may make you angry from time to time or scared or whatever it is. And so something inside your body, somewhere inside your body. And so stepping into this vehicle with your mentor, this presence of light, a saint or a sage, whoever that is, or a guardian angel. And when you're inside, there is a button in front of you and it's called Divine Experiment. And when you're ready, you can just press that button. And as you're pressing this button, this vehicle is taking you somewhere inside your body. And it's cruising around, cruising around, cruising around. And you may just get a sense when it's landed. You may feel a little nudge, maybe in the area of your liver, or may feel a nudge in your heart, or a little nudge in your throat, or maybe in your jaw, or in your tummy, somewhere inside your body. And so just giving yourself a moment. And if you haven't already landed, let it land now. And trusting that wherever is stopped is exactly the perfect place. And so letting it land right now. And then stepping outside. Taking a little look around, and this may be a metaphor of something inside your body. What does it look like where you are right now? You may see an organ, or you may just see a room that is a little contracted. As Daniel was sharing so beautifully, our life experience just gets smaller and smaller. And so sometimes in where we land is kind of, we need to duck almost, or the sides are coming in. But just get a sense of what it looks like where you are right now. Just taking it in, and know that you have a mentor by your side. So you take the hand of this mentor. You're in a safe place. Your mentor is with you. And just becoming aware of what's there. And if this area where you are right now had an emotion emanating from the walls or from where it is right now, a feeling, just allow yourself to feel it. It's always been there, probably hidden away. Or maybe you see a picture, or maybe you hear words. If you see a picture, just look at the picture, and in seeing it, what does it make you feel like? It may be scary, it may be sad, it may be angry. And it's okay, whatever it is. And so just becoming aware of your surroundings, and in the openness, in having dropped all the armor, we are willing and capable to feel an emotion in this divine experiment. It may just be a very mild emotion, and that's totally, perfectly okay. And just feeling where in the body it is. Maybe exactly where you just landed. And I'm still in my tummy. And so putting all of your awareness in your tummy right now, and just experience what is there. And without any censorship, without needing to know why it's there, who put it there, what happened, just be willing to direct your breath in this area and open with it. And in the opening, you may feel it even growing a little bit stronger. And as it grows stronger, just experience what's even deeper. If you were to open even more into the very heart of whatever is here right now, what might you experience? Don't know what it is for you, but for me the fear is turning into a form of anger, and that is welcome, and I'm feeling it here. So often the throat is our center of communication. The things we didn't say, the things we didn't express. I don't know what it is for you. I'm just telling you what's happening for me as an example. And then allowing even that and opening even wider and asking what's even deeper? What's even deeper in the core of this? And just allowing it to open and reveal itself. And in my divine experiments, it's getting more neutral. Not good, not bad. Just wider and more neutral. Just staying with it. And what if, and this is really a divine experiment that I'm not saying we all dive into it right now, but what if this was the entrance and the gateway to your soul? What if you knew without a shadow of a doubt that there is a doorway into you, into home, into your soul, into your heart? And I'm asking you to just imagine that right now and literally ask your mentor to open that door and walk through. And there may be layers that we have not approached today that is simply not possible in this short divine experiment. And yet we can all open the door and walk through into something that is greater than me, this body, even the emotion, something that is infinite, boundless, always is. And if your mentor, who has just guided you there, could speak to you from this place, what would your mentor say about the trauma that you have experienced or the pain, and what is your experience of life today? What would your mentor say? Would your mentor say or give you the possibility of clearing? And just whoever your mentor is, just really connecting with that part of you that knows, the truth inside of you that knows. And trusting that without even knowing the how, that it's possible. And in that sense of awareness that it is possible. I'm asking you together with your mentor to just see this area where you first landed and knowing that it's possible to heal. Just take a look around and see if this area is already starting to look a little bit different. And maybe it is, and maybe it needs a little bit more work. All of it is welcome. All of it is okay. And then just send your blessings. Just send blessings to yourself. Being grateful to yourself for having allowed this divine experiment. And then together with your mentor, you can come back to this special vehicle. And let it take you back to the staircase, stepping outside, thanking your mentor. Letting the mentor and the vehicle disappear, and there you are in front of the staircase. And having opened and having felt the possibility of being in that precious space of wholeness, of health, of energy, of aliveness, of freedom, of love. As I said, it has so many names. You can just stay connected to your heart right now and step on step number 1, 2, 3. Become more alive, wakeful. Stepping on step number 4 and reaching the final step, step number 5. And here on this final step, just breathing in all possibility, an experience that is far more boundless than what it has been, and maybe even seeing how the impact of this might make a difference in your life, in your family, in your community. And what if people around the world could heal their traumas? What would our planet look like? And just get an image or a vision of that. What would that look like? And then just see this final image that Daniel shared with us of being in a meadow, painting, playing an instrument, dancing, singing, allowing the energy, the truth of who we are, move through us and continue clearing that which we haven't been able to clear at the time when these issues happened. And just get a sense of what that feels like. And leaving yourself with a final image. I'm having the door open and there is a very, very busy bird out there singing. It is so alive everywhere. And just feeling that, this life force, this energy, this chi, this prana, that is capable of healing everything. And when everything is fully integrated here, whenever you are ready and are willing to just trust that your body has the intelligence to guide you and that there is work that exists to help you clear out, whenever you are ready, you can just open your eyes.
Wow.
I was Thank you very much, everyone. I'm delighted that you are still here. And I hope that it wasn't meant to be a full process. It was meant to give us this divine experiment that it's possible. It is possible. And I know it. I've been doing this for 27 years with other people. And I started myself. I was in a depression. I was scared of it. I didn't want to be seen as depressed. And I didn't know what to do. I just was looking for something natural. And the journey was what brought me home to myself. And the very, very first weekend, I wanted to jump on a roof and shout from the rooftop that it's possible that everybody, and that was in 96. So it's a long, long time ago.
You're still doing it, Gaby. You're still shouting. You're still shouting from the rooftops.
But I didn't know that everybody could do it. And I have subsequently seen thousands of people here everywhere in seminars, and now online. Everything is available so easily. And so it's really, really amazing.
I want to thank Gaby for stretching time. I can't believe what we packed into the last hour. Amazing. We did a science lesson. We had a welcome. We had a meditation. I just want to share a post that just was posted on Facebook here. All defense systems were knocked out and disabled for the moment of the process. Wow, thank you. I mean, knocked out is maybe not the scientifically correct term, but I think what is true, and I experienced that myself, the work that Gaby has given you a taster of, journey work, has a way of going under the radar of our defense systems. It doesn't knock it out. It doesn't bulldoze through. It literally infuses and goes through it. It's almost like our protective systems, because of the gentle way that's been done, allows it in. And I feel any flavor, any taste, even a micro percent today is hopefully giving you a taster of what we'll learn more tomorrow. Tomorrow we will talk about different healing modalities, and we will spend a bit of time on the one that we love the most, the one that we've been involved in for, in my case, almost a decade, for Gaby, almost 3 decades, the journey. And I really would love you guys to come back. Also, Gaby spoke about that first weekend that's blown her mind and changed her life. My own experience was similar. This first weekend is called the Journey Intensive. It's a 2/3-day retreat, which is now fully available online around the world. And tomorrow we're gonna raffle off. Anybody who's here tomorrow, you can win a free place on the Journey Intensive. And we're also gonna make a special invitation and a special offer for you if you're here, because tomorrow is about, yesterday was awareness, today was acceptance, tomorrow about action. What can you actually proactively do to start the healing journey? Now, I want to make sure we're not promising that you can switch, flick a switch and everything will be different, but it's definitely worth looking at which modalities are available, which one are you going to start using to better your situation. All areas of life can be bettered if you start clearing this, and the body knows, the body keeps the score, and the body knows the way. So we still have a little bit of time for questions, Gaby. I can't believe we're almost perfectly.
I think one of the things we wanted to say is, first of all, focus for today or until we come together again tomorrow is something I want to very, very briefly say. And also, I would love us to take more time for Q&A. You know, if you really have reservations, if what we're speaking here, if what we're doing here puts you in a place of really, you know, or is, you know, yes, I hear you, yes, I but what about me? What about this? We're here. Please bring your questions. Let us know. We're going to try and figure out a way that you even can come and join us in the room here by tomorrow. Let's see how that works. And the homework is pretty similar to yesterday. I'm asking you to slow down. I'm asking you to slow down, because in slowing down, some of us have a method of doing, being fast. And in that, we kind of override what the body's trying to tell us. It's knocking hard and loud. And the reason we are in physical pain so many times, or in a state of suffering, is because we're not listening to the knocking. We're not listening to the body knocking on our door and saying, hey, excuse me, can you stop for a minute? And so anyway, that's what I'm asking you, to slow down. If you have some beautiful music, I mean, we share some beautiful music from musicians who create music in a place of this presence. There is Mitten and Deva Premal, if you may have heard of them. There's a song called In the Light of Love. There is so many beautiful songs. And if I just sit and listen to that, I'm deported. Autumn, I don't need to do anything. I'm right here. I'm in this presence. So it's there are many ways, and we will talk more about that tomorrow. But for now, just try and slow down. And if your body tells you something, try and listen. It's like, what is it you know, what's the message? What is you try? Talk to it as if it was a person. Honestly, you will get an answer. Your body will speak to you, and it will be very, very grateful. So that's the homework. Lots more Q&A time for tomorrow. Was there something?
I've just been enjoying the comments and flicking them onto our stage here. Hearing your body, how incredible is that? Thank you, Gaby. Thank you both. Amazing. Oh, thank you. So enjoyable. Yeah, it's great that people are.
There's somebody saying, I believe I fell asleep. 𝐘𝐨𝐮𝐤𝐬𝐳 was that. And I would say, maybe you fell asleep. Maybe something happened without you even knowing, because one of the things that hasn't been said really just yet is that this is the work that we follow, or journey work, is not something that can be fixed with the mind. It happens at another level. So if there is something that kind of took your awareness out, who knows what may have happened. So you may think you've fallen asleep. It may have been a very deep meditation. Who knows?
Yeah.
So
and there was, I want to second that, underscore this. Many of the therapies that we're trying to use is mental or talk therapy. And in truth, there is an aspect that will not allow you to get there. So tomorrow, when we look at the spectrum of what is seen and known to be effective trauma therapy, you will see that some of them have to do with talk and conversations, or others, but others actually work with the body. And the body, and this is just a piece of science that is really interesting. Our mental capacity is to work with about 2,000 bits a second. That's 2,000 pieces of information that we can work with at the same time. Our body can do up to 4 million. That's 2,000 times the information. So our body is sensing 2,000 times more. There's 2,000 times more information available to our body at any given moment than our mind can consciously process. So if in doubt, ask the body, don't ask the mind. That's and more tomorrow. Thank you, Gaby. Love the session. I got goosebumps. I really hope people had an experience that gives them a taster to come back tomorrow for more. And remember, tomorrow we will raffle off a ticket to the Journey Intensive, where you not only can have a breakthrough experience, but you will learn the core process work that is at the core of the journey. You can learn it for yourself and how to share it with others. So a small step and a big step towards this beautiful idea of making this world a better place.
Thank you, Daniel. And if any more questions show up, just post them in our Facebook group. I can see one question here, and I would love to spend a little bit more time on it, but I think we've already gone a little bit over time, so we get to it tomorrow. If we haven't gotten to it today, post it in the Facebook group or repost it tomorrow, when Daniel and I will be back at the same time. We will be back here at 6 o'clock CET, Central European Time, and we really look forward to seeing you. And bring you some more solutions and hows tomorrow.
Yeah. Tomorrow is how to actually help you heal from trauma. Yesterday was awareness, today was acceptance, tomorrow is take action. Look forward to seeing you. Look forward to seeing you, Gaby, and all of you as well. Thank you for being part of it.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
My biggest win with the journey was being able to access my deepest emotions and free myself from them. I feel more calm and serene.
I found my true calling, and now today I can help others. I love to make an impact. I love to see transformation in others' lives.
For years and years, I used to feel very lonely, and now I just feel a part of everything. I feel I'm alive.
My biggest win with joining the practitioner program is owning my own life back and stepping out of a severe PTSD.
The acceptance of myself and the self-love, so I don't need others to love me. That's perfectly okay.
Life is different now because of joining the journey, because I just live in so much abundance. You know, I get up every day with a joy for living. I want to go to work. I want to meet other people.
My biggest win was the really deep knowing I actually do have the answers. They are within me.
There is a lot more certainty and openness into where I'm heading and how I'm feeling about things.
I feel more connected to life. It's not an easy path for anyone to do healing work, but it's profound.
1, I'm more balanced. 2, I'm more grateful for those persons who helped me in this life. I enrich my life every day with this wisdom.
It's priceless. There's no better, bigger investment we can do in time, money, or energy.
I was a mess before I started with this work, and I healed from lots of different types of abuse, and that's a miracle.
My life now, because of the journey, is transformed. I have confidence. Even if I struggle, it's just I have to let go. It's step after step, and it's no danger at the end.
My biggest win is myself. It doesn't have to be anything else. You can be fulfilled even if you only have yourself.
It's more peaceful. I've learned to process emotions. I learned to be more self-aware, and I've learned when you need to ask for help.
I've been able to have a really deep, long, soulful look at myself, and I've been able to uncover, recover, and heal long-term wounds.
My biggest win being a journey practitioner has been becoming a therapist and a healer, because that's what I never ever imagined it to be.
I'm living from a place of freedom and choice. I'm really conscious in every moment. Any sentence I say, it's coming from just pure goodness.
I feel more authentic, wearing much less of a mask. It's about being you and feeling good about it.
I can embrace all that is. I'm here to share my life, my joy. Now I can just be me.
My own journey of healing from cancer is an inspiration for others. I get to work with amazing people, see amazing transformations in their life.
My biggest win is to be yourself. Just be there for other people, to help other people heal, and just to be there.
I know that no matter what comes, I have the right instrument to deal with whatever emotions every situation will bring to me.
It really has helped me come back to a place of wholeness. I feel like completely authentic. I feel genuine. I feel like I'm in my body.
My big win is my courage and my physical healing, my emotional healing. But in one word, I could say freedom.
The journey is all about releasing all of the emotions that create the illness. I was healed physically within 6 weeks, while I had been in pain over 3.5 years.